Welcome to TNT's Real Travels podcast. I'm Thomas.
And I'm Tristan.
And we are here at the Sanborn Skyline County Park, which is in the Santa Cruz Mountains, sort of in Los Gatos, south of San Jose, where TNT's Real Travels is headquartered.
That's right.
And we're here
in this beautiful mountain glen, filled with wildflowers and ladybugs and butterflies. And it kind of reminds us of this idyllic countryside area in the North Island of New Zealand, where Hobbiton was filmed in The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring.
That's right. The area is called Mata Mata, and you can actually go drive out there, take a tour, explore, see where Hobbiton actually was filmed.
Yeah.
It's the only movie set left right now in New
That's
Zealand
right.
from the films that was pretty much intact and
Yeah.
looks like it did when they actually filmed.
Yeah, you can go and you take a tour and you can see the actual hobbit holes and
right.
the party tree, and it's the Shire. It's straight from Tolkien's imagination right there in real life. So, take a little taste of that tour right now.
Hobbiton, check it out.
A half-day's drive south of Auckland, just outside of Hamilton, is the little town of Mata Mata. This is where you can see the only remaining Lord of the Rings film set, Hobbiton. At the Hobbiton tour shop in town, we purchase tickets and board the bus for a ride out to the sheep farm where the Shire was built. The tour guides are very knowledgeable about the film shooting, and they tell the entire story of how and why this remote spot was picked for the homes of Bilbo, Frodo, and Sam. This is especially meaningful to me because my first stories that I remember that my mom told me were of Bilbo and his magic ring. I was too little to read the books, but she would tell me the tales of the books. She would paraphrase The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, and Bilbo and this ring that he discovered and the riddles he told and how he won it. And then how they discovered, his friends discovered that it was a bad ring, and his little nephew Frodo had to go take it and drop it in the volcano to save the world. And not only was it just a fun story, but the idea that a little person or several little people could go and do wonderful, amazing things that truly saved their world was very inspiring. When Peter Jackson finally brought the movies to life, it was literally my childhood stories, my bedtime stories come to life, and he could only realize it through the beautiful landscapes of this place in New Zealand.
The Hobbiton guides lead you through the Shire, pointing out all the film locations, and they describe the movie-making process in detail.
Now the other thing they did was down here on this plateau just behind the sign here. That was where the stars had all of their luxury caravans, their makeup trucks and their costume containers.
You can see the lake, which was the first thing that they found. Right next to the lake itself is the tree that became known as the party tree.
While you can't get there today, the opening of the Fellowship of the Ring was filmed here, where Gandalf rides his cart into the Shire and discovers a daydreaming Frodo.
We're going to drive right around the side here, and at about midway point you are going to look over a very steep cliff to a very big swamp, and that pretty much makes it impossible for us to take vehicles anywhere across there at all. How did New Line get into that area? It actually came through the other side of the property with the aid of the Alexanders and their four-wheel drive vehicles. The directors themselves like this area for another reason. Have a listen. Pretty quiet, isn't it? So as you can see, it was a pretty major find.
Directly behind the Hobbiton movie sign is an area known as Bagshot Row. Now Bagshot Row is the first sign of Hobbiton you get as Gandalf and Frodo ride into the Shire. Up the top we have Bag End, the home of Frodo and Bilbo Baggins, and that is the only hobbit hole you can get into. And towards the end of the tour we will be going up the top to Bag End.